Hello there, this is Andrew once again. Friends, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to show you the different data types in Microsoft Access. And without further ado, I'm going to fire up Access. If you don't know how to start Access, you just go and look up for Access down here, and click on you type in Access, and the closest match will come on top here, and then click on it. When I click on it, it opens a dialog box. It turns out like this, and then I should be able to open a blank database. But I had already opened the database, so you can either open a blank database or you can use the existing database. But for purposes of illustration, I'm going to use the database that I had already created, and I want to explain what we call data types. Without understanding data types, sometimes it becomes very difficult to develop Microsoft Access applications. So I'm going to be using this table for Macs, to explain to you what data types are in very simple terms, without complicating anything. So assuming that I go to the design view of this table, go to design view. Yeah, I think what you have seen here is this error. When I get an error, I think it's always good to explain what the error means. It means that you cannot go to the design view of a table if it is being used by a form or a query. You can see this form is being used by this form. This table is being used by this form, and it's also being used by this query. So let me first close this so that I explain to you what data types are. So I just go to design view. Like for example, this table, the data types I've used auto number, then I've also used the number, and then calculated. So these are the different data types for this table. But assuming that we wanted a different table, so I'm going to go to create table and table design, so that I'm able to explain the different data types. So I'm going to start with a very simple data type called, I'm going to go in order, short text. So where you apply short text is, for example, you want to capture things like first name, the names of objects, names of cities, names of countries, names of people. So in this case, assuming that we wanted to capture first name, and yeah, you're better off using short text. Short text means it will take information up to 255 characters. So you can as well adjust here, because you know there's no first name that can reach 100 letters or characters. So I can as well say maybe 50. So short text is one of the data types in Microsoft Access, in Microsoft Access tables. So it will not be fair to this database if you use long text. Long text can go up to thousands and thousands and 10,000s of characters. So you'll be creating a lot of redundancies if you use wrong data types. So here it is better to use short text. Probably there could be names more than 50. Probably you can say 100 to be on the safe side. And then you can say maybe last name. Again, we use short text. We can say again 100. Now moving on to the next data type, longer text. This is a situation where you want to capture quite a good amount of information in a text field. For example, if you want comments from customer, assuming that you are developing a customer database and you want to track comments. For example, customer returned the product because of a couple of reasons, and you find that short text will not work. In that case, you use what we call longer text. Longer text will take more than 10,000 or even 20,000 text. So here you use longer text. Because when you use short text, you might end up typing and you reach a point where you can't type anymore. I'll be explaining to you this limit, how when you limit the short text to 100. I will explain to you let alone the effect of 100. In short, you will not be able to type anything which is beyond 100 characters. So this one takes fewer characters, but this it will take many characters. So where do we apply the next one? The next one is a number. Numbers, that's where you have smaller numbers. For example, 2 million, 3 million. For example, if you are trying to work out the selling price, if you want selling price, here you apply a number. Of course, there's a bit of format you have to do here. I'll explain that a little later. So this is what we apply. But if you're going to deal in huge numbers, big numbers, there you apply what we call large number, assuming maybe they're going to be totals, and you expect the number to be total, maybe total sales, sales. There maybe you expect the number to exceed the billion. So you have to use a large number. Then the next one is a date and time. This is clear, assuming that you wanted to capture date of birth. There I use date and time. I will do another video to explain how you can format these data types, but the purpose of the video today is to talk about data types. So going on to the next one, what's the next data type? Currency, assuming that you are going to be selling this. You have a shop and you are setting up a system, and maybe you want to capture things like cost price. Here it is currency here. Of course, even this one could have been currency, but fine, just for illustration, assuming that maybe you wanted to capture age here, you use just a number, age, because you know age would be a small number, but for purpose of illustration, I think you get my point. But selling price should also be a currency, and then I'll show you how you'll be able to use either dollars, pounds, shillings, and so on and so forth, depending on your location. And then what next? Next is auto number. Very interesting. This is used to especially allocate ID. Assuming this was a customer database, you can say customer ID. Auto number means the number will be automatically generated by the system. So it will allocate the first number to the first record you enter into the system, and then it will go to 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 6. So that's how you apply the auto number. So you can, most cases, the customer ID comes on top. So you can always, let me show you a simple technique. You can always drag and pull it up. You left click and drag and pull it up. Just for purposes of reorganizing the table. So you can always move these items accordingly, even this one like that. So as I am showing you, I should be able to share with you some of the simple techniques to make your development of the database easy for you, my friends. So the next one is yes and no, assuming that you wanted to know whether customer is active or not active. Instead of someone needing to type in yes or no, it becomes cumbersome. So you just use yes or no. You'll see how the table behaves when we open the table. And then where do we apply? Yeah, we apply OLE object. Those scenarios where you be using things like pictures. And then where do we apply things like hyperlink. This is where maybe you be using having website link, it will come as a hyperlink. And then the next is the attachment. Again, here it is just picture. If you there's a video I made on pictures, when actually go to YouTube and look for how to attach a picture in Microsoft Access. The video will come up. It explains how it is done, how to add pictures. Calculated means you are going to apply Fiumly. So some people you call it formulas, but I think the right word is Fiumly. And this is where you use calculated. I have a video on calculate on Fiumly, formula in tables of a Microsoft Access database. So this maybe assuming this is the maybe profit. So you probably you will need to use calculated. So moving on to next, the last one I think is what yes, the last one is a Lookup Wizard. I'll explain this Lookup Wizard in the next my next video, because I don't want to make very long videos. So I will explain lookup in my next videos. Basically what it means, that field will be looking up for information from other tables, and it will be the system will be able to auto-populate information from other table by selecting from a drop down. Assuming this, you are maybe looking up for a example. Good example would be supervisor. So if you have a list of supervisor, or a table for supervisors, so this field will be populated by looking up in the supervisors table. So having done that, you just save your data, your table database, and you'll be able to enter information with ease. But that's how you can use Microsoft data types in tables. So when I say save, yes, I can give it maybe data table. I say it's better to say TBL. It's better to call this TBL. You can give it an illustrative name, data types, and then I say okay. Okay, you see the table cannot accept two fields with the same name, so I can call this pictures. So even this one might not work very well because I haven't created. I have a separate video on how to do calculated fields. So you'll be able to check it out under my channel. But for purpose of saving the table and the purpose of explaining to you the different data types, let me keep it simple. This data type is not compatible. Okay, fine. Yeah. So these are the data types we've created. So you can see we have a table here. So when I type in a name, I type in a first name, last name, date of birth. You can see because you picked data type date, the date time, it even gives you a what we call a date time picker, so that again someone capturing data doesn't need to struggle to type. They just pick from the date. Assuming this is A in the interest of time. Okay, this is Andrew. Last name, that, comments if any, maybe none, age, so I can put maybe 45, total sales, cost price. You can see it has even put shillings. You can see I used yes or no. active, yes or no. So you just click on it and it ticks that this customer is active. Picture, website, when I put www, you can see it hyperlinks so that I'll be able to click on maybe if this was my site, when I click on it, it takes me to my site. And then here you can even attach picture. You add a picture, you can look for a picture and add it in the database. I have a full video on how to add pictures. So you look up for a picture, assuming that I had maybe picture here, just in a picture, and assuming this is my picture, I add it there, and you say okay. You click on okay. Okay, and then you go to the next one. Is picture is quite big, that's why it is taking long to add. And you go to the next column, which says profit. So yeah, you move on to profit. So you can see it has added one picture here, and you move on to profit. You put maybe profit, maybe $3 million or $3 million, and then supervisor here. I'll explain more about this lookup, but we look up for information from other tables, and that'll be it. So in short, those are the different data types. It's very important to understand data types, otherwise you end up with a very difficult application to manage, and in case you don't know how to apply the different data types to the right to the different information, so you need to apply the right data type to the different information if you want to keep a robust application. So thank you very much for listening to me, and please like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel for more videos, and hit the notification button if you want to get notified when I upload any video. Thank you very much, and bye.